Welcome, Superboy fans. This is our bonus commentary for the episode Luthor Unleashed. This is Chris Jacobsen. With me, as always, is Team Superboy. We have Sam Rizzo.
Hey, Chris.
The amazing Tom Gallagher.
Hello.
And our great David Arroyo.
Hey.
And also here for Luthor Unleashed is our very special guest, Mr. Michael Manno, Leo himself.
What's up, guys? How are you?
We're doing good.
Awesome.
So this is going to be your penultimate episode as Leo from season 1, and we're gonna count it down 3, 2, 1, and then we'll start however you guys are using it, whether it be digital media or on your DVD. So I'll count us down, and we'll get started on Luthor Unleashed. 3, 2, 1, go.
Sweet.
Okay, here we go.
I love this new intro. I love the season 1 final intro. I think it's a really fun way to begin the show.
Oh yeah, it's action packed. It shows what we need to see. It's good.
Yeah, it's great. Now, Michael, I do have a question. Like, it's not a secret that Scott Wells they brought in an acting coach for Scott Wells during season 1. Now, this episode relies a lot on his performance, and obviously you're there with him the entire time. How easy or difficult was this episode to shoot because of it?
From my point of view, from me, it really, to tell you the truth, I really didn't know, because I just did my job. I hope I did my job. I just what I was told to do. With the acting coach and all the other stuff that was done, like on all our downtime, of course. But the thing that they always, when I used to hear, and like I told you, it was the running joke that a lot of times, like Scott, he acted more like Lex Luthor off camera than on camera. So I said, if you could take what you do off camera and do it on camera, you'd be fine. So just reverse it, like really film him when he leaves the set, film him, and then when it's something, then when it really is, when don't say anything like action, because then he'll know, and then leave him when he thinks he's off. That's when when he's really, that they're really shooting it. You know what I mean? Like you do the opposite. But oh yeah, I remember this is by David Nutter. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because when I was a little kid, I always used to play Army, and this was great. I got to drive the Jeep and, and dress up like look military and, and do stuff we had to do. But
I mean, you and Lex had a lot of heists throughout the series, and this is definitely one of my favorites.
That's Ron Howard's dad, right?
I'm sorry?
That's Ron Howard's dad, his father, I believe.
Really? I have no idea.
Oh, I really, I don't know that. I don't know. No, I think both of those guys they were local actors in Miami. The one on the right there, his name is, he's playing the cop. I used to see him on auditions in Miami, like when we go for commercial. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Roger Preto.
Yeah.
Roger Preto, that's it. Preto. I knew it was over the P. Yeah, and I don't know if that's Ron Howard's dad. I've seen him. I've seen him before. So I think in Miami. I think he's local.
I know Roger Prato was brought on a couple times in that first season as Detective Harris.
Right. Yeah. This is when.
Yeah, it was always fun when he made an appearance.
But there's a particular scene you're going to see towards that, but I'll wait till it gets there because it's very interesting, which is really true with the Scott Wells thing. But I'll save that for later. I'm not going to let that out of the bag yet.
Well,
that's cool.
Well, what's funny was when I first launched my website, not Superboy Legacy, but Superboy homepage, the gentleman who was hosting my website called me and said, "Sam," I go, "Yeah." He goes, Your website, my mother was an acting coach. I go, "You're kidding." And he tells me, he goes, the acting coach that they hired for Scott Wells was his mother. I was like, small world. It's absolutely a small world. How
Did
crazy.
you quit?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like in this scene, they just told me, you know, like when I was doing the scene, they they said, okay, this is your motivation. We want to just try to piss Lex Luthor off. That's why I would start playing with his stuff. And try to make you'll see I start playing with this stuff, just picking stuff up, you know, like to get him. I think this is the one when Superboy saves him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously worked because like he genuinely does seem annoyed by it. So yeah, you brought out a little bit of the real Scott Wells for his performance.
Well, yeah, this is where it is. I just start playing with his stuff, and he just gets pissed and just picks it up. Yeah.
You did mention to us like off mic earlier about how you saw a review or something, and they said that basically Leo was there to make Scott Wells look good, and I think I mean, I don't disagree. I think without Leo, Lex would have been a very boring character in season 1. And
well, thanks for saying that. And you know, and to be like, I mean, I'll even say like in it, like it's really funny what critics say, but they said they how did the word they said, well, Mike Manno isn't really that much better, but he did make Scott Wells look good or something to that effect. I forget, somebody wrote that, whatever.
well, I mean, as an audience member, I can only really speak for myself, but I mean, I believed their relationship. Like, I can kind of get who Leo is in relation to Lex, and it seems real enough. So I think you succeeded in.
Well, thank you for saying that, and really, like I tell you, like, you know, I'm going to tell you right now because you know, like everybody knows me as like everybody, all my friends over there, they call me Jersey Mike. Everybody tells me like I've like my personality, you know, being from New Jersey, the Sicilian Irish thing, that I should have been on The Sopranos. They said all I'd have to do was walk and say, "Yo, how you doing? I'm Mike Manno." Forget about it. They say he's hired. Okay, so, but I'm really playing a character 180 degrees of my personality because that's not really me. So I was told that Leo he's a likable bad guy. He's like sort of like childlike and a little bit I was like sort of like a little bit of an imbecile and could be easily influenced and led around. So in other words, my character, I idolized Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I mean, it's not so much that Leo's a bad guy. It's just that it's almost like he doesn't know any better. Like,
Exactly.
I think Lex is using him because he knows he can manipulate him, and that's totally Lex Luthor. So it makes complete sense for the characters.
Really, it's like I'll put another analogy. It's like I'm a lion, and Lex Luthor, Scott Wells is the trainer. I don't know that with one swipe I can kill him. I have more power than I realize I have, but he has me influenced that I'm afraid of him, and he's my idol. You know, that's where it's like when I would come up with it. Gee, Lex, you're my idol. Gee, Lex, I'd do anything for you.
It's kind of like a dysfunctional relationship.
I'm
sorry.
It's kind of like a dysfunctional relationship between the two.
Exactly. I'm the battered partner that's afraid to leave. You know, why don't you call the cops and leave? No, I can't. He's my buddy.
It almost makes me wonder if the people making the show kind of tried to imply that it goes a little bit further. I mean, I don't see any other reason for that Speedo in the fixer.
Listen, I'm not going to go there. You know, listen, I have nothing to listen. I'm not homophobic. I'm not gay, whatever. And, but I mean, that's fine. People can do what they want, like live and let live. That doesn't bother me at all. But
I just think, I mean, nothing, you know, I'm not saying anything bad. I just think there is definitely a homoerotic subtext between Lex and Leo, and it's interesting.
And somebody, you know, it's a matter that you and somebody else, and I think implied in another, I don't know whether it's that same review or something that said the Alexa and Leo are really like lovers or whatever. The Speedo thing, I think because this was back in the 80s, because back in the 80s is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The way it was implied to me like with that is it was really not to be with the so much like, I guess, a guy. I don't know whatever way everybody interprets things himself, but it was supposed to be for the girls. That's why we did that. Even the assistant director told me he did on purpose. Says, this is for I'm doing this shot. He called it the D shot. So he says, the way he worded, he says, I'm going to give you the D shot so you get more fan mail from the chicks. That's what he said.
I mean, I don't take any of that stuff too seriously. The subtext ideas, I just think it's fun to think about sometimes.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if it gets all audiences, listen. If the gay community loved watching it just as much, great, good. Send me fan mail. I took that. It didn't matter to me.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
What was it like working with Stacy, by the way?
Stacy, I just had really light conversation because she was always in the trailer with this scene right here. Now this is the one that was dubbed in German. Anyway, Stacy, her and I were we just like would make passes. We were like, nice weather. She was always in John, always like, I guess her and John were always hanging out all the time. I don't know, because they were always like shooting together. And that's why most of them I used to try to hang with Scott, but most of the time I was hanging with the crew, actually.
I imagine it would have been quite difficult to get any time really alone with John or Stacey, because I mean they were dating at the time, so yeah.
Yeah,
kind of makes sense that they.
Yeah.
I love the nerds in this episode. They're so ridiculously over the top. No, I know we've gone past that scene, but I had to say.
What? Which one?
Like whenever Lex brings the nerds in, and they've always got like the big glasses with a bit of tape between, in the middle.
I think that's later in this, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's.
We saw them earlier on. They were hanging around Lex and Lana outside, but they do come back later.
Oh yeah. This is the one. Okay, now this scene, I'm going to tell you this. This scene is good. This is where I made John Newton laugh. Okay, you got to watch this. They're coming in playing good cop, bad cop. Well, you see how my head is back towards the camera? Mm-hmm. Like you can't do. Well, John, at one point, I started making faces at John. I want to show you right here. You watch when he starts asking. They're playing good cop, bad cop. I make faces, and he almost lost. He almost laughed. He almost lost because I was sitting there making faces because my back was towards the camera. Here we go. Right, it's right there. You can't see it because it's playing. Oh, started to laugh because I was making faces at him.
You could see the slight smile like come onto his face. It was yeah. It's funny though, because as an audience member, you'd never notice something like that until you hear the story.
My back sort of, I started going, making a face like that to make him laugh, and he almost lost it. But because it was slight, they just kept right on shooting. They just, for continuity.
Yeah, I imagine you couldn't do many takes on the show. It was pretty low budget, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just try to hit my mark. Yes, sir. No, sir. I mean, that's the way I.
It's a great reaction, Michael.
It is. Totally face.
That was really rad, man.
Tell you what, though, Scott is rocking the bald look.
Yeah, you're Brady. Yeah.
That's Lex Luthor right there. Like, why can't he do that all season?
Tell me about it.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know whether the coach brought it out. They used to tell him, act like you do off camera.
It's still a little bit over the top, but the campy factor of this show is part of why it's so fun. So
yeah, well,
that totally works.
Yeah, that's what it was, because he was campy. Yeah, look at the wig.
I think Sherman Howard wears that wig in the back in a few episodes. Yeah, definitely looks familiar.
I love the shirt, the L. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, and I also that was back in the day, the old Cavaricis. That was the Miami Vice look.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Wasn't it true, like, after season 1 that there was talk of a Lex Luthor Leo spinoff?
Well, yeah, there was, in fact, it was even before that, because I was told, and I believe another what I hear and a half of what I see, but I was told that originally the way it was set up is that there's Lex Luthor. I was supposed to be mostly like sort of just like seen and not heard, but it came up, and because I had a lady come up to me. I remember I was on the set one day, and the lady from Viacom came up, and I was sitting in a chair, and this is before the show premiered, and she came up, she introduced herself, and she said, I'm so and so from Viacom, and I said, oh hi, I'm Michael Manno, and she said, oh, I know. She said, I just wanted to tell you, it's her exact words, okay? There's 3 reasons I have no reason to lie to you guys. Here's the 3 reasons. 1, I don't owe you any money. You guys aren't cops, and I don't date any of your sisters. Okay, so, but what she said was, she turned around and said, she says, well, I just want to let you know, we, meaning Viacom, like the way that you're portraying the character Leo. So keep doing it. I said, yes, ma'am, no problem. Well, then from that point on, that's where they decided, from what I heard, they were supposed to air a different episode for the premiere, but they decided to use the Jewel of Technical as a premiere episode with us in it. Now, in the meantime, to answer your question, there was a rumor going around that they were going to do, because of the response they got from Lex and Leo, they were going to do a spinoff series. I was really flipping out, like, oh my God, look at this. Now it's really soaring, going up. I'm going to get my own series. But then I guess what happened from that point, because Ilya Salkind was deciding to do that. Then I don't know what happened. They had more difficulty with Scott, and then it was scrapped. And then Scott got fired. So what happened to me that I don't want to spread rumors, right? Because I really don't know. I don't know what happened. Basically on that show, I just used to be, I was a yes sir, no sir, mind my own business. That was it. That's what I did.
One take Leo.
Actually, yeah, that's what they used to call me, because I was so like, and I think I said this on your first podcast, like just a long time ago. I was so overwhelmed when I heard I got the part. I literally cried, because I'm 32 years going on 30. I was like 31, playing a high school senior, and to get this TV show, I treated that when I went to bed early, knew all my lines. I knew Scott's lines, and when they'd say action, I just did what I had to do, and that was it. Because I didn't want to piss anybody off.
I tell you what, looking at this scene, I always found this scene funny. Like, Lex puts a team together, his dream team to take out Superboy. He's got a ninja, Indiana Jones, and what is it, Sinbad?
The Cairo swordsman.
Yeah, well, I'm going to show you in this scene of just something that really happened. Okay,
that is the most overweight ninja I've ever seen as well.
Yeah, right.
How does that work?
Bottle. It's like he looks like a genie.
Apologies to whoever played that if they ever hear this, but man.
So what happened, like, in this scene?
All right, now here you're gonna watch. Now watch when and it's Goofy Leo, and I did this all around. This is something like that. Watch when I go to help him with the gun. Now, what really happened when he pushes me? He pushed me extra hard. I went up after the take. So you ever push me like that again, dude? You're gonna be. I'm gonna like bust you right in the face if you ever do that again. And he was like, he pushed me extra hard where I like fell down. Not just, he's supposed to push me out of the way, but not the way he did. It was very, very, like aggressive.
Were you guys like having a fight or something like that before that? Or
No, the way he did it, it's just the overacting. He, like, you're going to see, he gave me a shove where, He gave me a shove. I mean, I've been shoved worse, but I mean, we're supposed to be acting. He caught me off guard. That's what it was.
Like he should have shoved you quite lightly, and then you would sell it, wouldn't you? Like, he doesn't actually have to do it for real.
Well, you're gonna see when I go up to play with the gun, because I break it. Because I fumbled around and break it. He's pissed that I broke it, which, okay, it works. But then when he pushes me, he pushed me into one of those haystacks. I was on the ground. I got up. I was pissed.
And it's unnecessary, because you could have sold it that he pushed you harder than he did anyway. Like, you're an actor, so
yeah. There it is. Like,
it's still a really fun scene. Like, I love the idea of the gun.
Come out with the big one. Watch. Now watch. This is where it is, and you tell me. I see. I'm fumbling with it, taking it. I break it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was
hard. That was a hard hit right there.
Yeah.
No. So then all of a sudden, when he goes, oh, did it happen already?
yeah, it's already gone.
Yeah, I just saw. Yeah, he pushed me. He like, boom. Because I broke his gun. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell you weren't prepared for it because it shows that it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it was so good. There wasn't me supposed to put to make it kind of what I was doing because it wasn't there to break the gun either. But like the piece came off, like you have to, continuity. The show must go on, and you ad lib. I'm supposed to go over and fumble with the gun, and really the piece really broke off, and I looked at it like, oh, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
And so he just pushed. Oh, the old the monks. Yeah, that's because we don't know where Lex Luthor is, and Leo. They went off someplace and joined the
monastery.
Yeah.
I gotta say that I'm sorry, Mike, but this bald cap is like probably the worst bald cap.
Oh, it is. I have a production still of it. Like it looks so like it's really funny. It looks like Bozo the Clown.
I may have to use this image like in the thumbnail for the video when it goes on YouTube.
It's like two different colors. It looks like an ostrich laid an egg on her head and put hair around it.
But Lex lost all his hair anyway. So like, what did he do? Did he get a wig and just like cut part of it out?
And
Probably.
Leo went gray.
Oh, I love it. Such a fun episode.
It was. Listen, like I said, I had the time of my life on that show. I had the time of my life, without a doubt, and I can live it. It's memories that I'll always have, and that's why I enjoy like whenever you guys do podcasts to sit on whatever, and it brings it back to sit and talk about it. It's
always wonderful to like hear you talk about it. Like some of those stories, it puts a completely different perspective on certain scenes and stuff. Like you would have no idea there was like 100 extras in the background of one scene, and later on,
thousands. Well, see, like I said, and I was telling you, like knowing being in film, like you have see. I don't want to take away from anybody's fantasy. I'm being real, but I'm also trying, especially like with I'll give you an example, like with kids, like kids that watch the show, or people who, there's a lot of people who are older now that tune into your podcast because it's Superboy Legacy. It's a whole cult following, which I totally respect. And I'm flattered that I'm part of a legacy. I'm not on some show that was on 20 years ago and nobody remembers or whatever, because this gets carried on because Superman and all the DC comics, like the characters are superheroes people know for forever. So therefore they have this thing in their mind, this fantasy of like who they are, of who these characters are and what they represent. But in reality, and being totally honest, is that ever since, and I make this a joke, that even commercials on TV, because I've done a lot of commercials, when I watch commercials, because I know the way they're done, and even TV shows, I watch TV shows completely different from a different perspective, which the average person won't. So therefore, when I'm on with you guys and say we're doing this podcast and we're talking about stuff, I'm giving you the real truth. Like, this is really what's happening, because it's human nature. And I want it from not to be derogatory or not to take away from the show or anything you guys are doing, but I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, we appreciate it. That's exactly what we want. We are out of time for this episode, so I think we should probably try and wrap it up now.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us for this. It was a lot of fun to hear your stories from doing it. Like, we'll have to have you back again, definitely.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it was definitely great to have you, Michael.
Very much. I would enjoy that very much.
So everyone watching on YouTube, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, leave us a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you all, and I hope I talk to you soon.